Welcome back, Explorer. Do you know where you are? The backrooms, obviously. But do you know where you are right now? It's dark and musty. The air is thick with dust and haze. There are boxes everywhere. They look so old, barely held together by persistent strips of Scotch tape. It takes a second for your eyes to adjust. You'd just been subjected to the harsh glow of an early memory. The gloom here seems almost alien. At least it isn't like some of the earlier levels, where the darkness was so heavy and tangible that no light could possibly pierce it. In that regard, we suppose you're lucky. But soon enough, you'll find out that there is something far worse than darkness lingering in the air up here. The only open question is whether you'll find out before it's too late. Welcome to level 19. Be sure to breathe it in. You adjust relatively quickly to your surroundings. The smell of moldy old clothes and mothballs up here is hardly pleasant, but it's something you can live with. In fact, it brings up memories. But now is no time for nostalgia. You're an explorer after all. It's time to explore. You begin a careful journey across the old wooden floorboards beneath you, each one giving an audible creak under your weight. The roof above you is arched, buttressed into place by what looks like equally old wooden planks. Every so often, you see vintage furniture, old tables, chairs, and armoires, stacked up along the walls, some covered in tarps, and others left to gather dust, like everything else. Do you recognize this place? No, you tell yourself. That can't be right. It must just be the lingering after effects of the memory field of level 18. You just need to ignore it and keep on moving, don't you? It isn't that tight a fit, but still, there's a lingering sense of claustrophobia to this place. Like most places in the backrooms, there's no obvious exit. But here, that fact seems to really weigh on you. As you walk further and further down the attic, it begins to occur to you that it might never end. The forever attic, where every dusty old childhood thing is stored, every gift never given, every Christmas and Halloween decoration. A mansion of cobwebs, with 6 generations of spiders who've never known anything else. It sends a shudder down your spine. This is not a good place. Or is it? As if a switch has been flicked, suddenly, your disposition reverses. The growing sense of unease you were feeling before is now replaced with a warmth emanating from the middle of your chest, fanning out through you, spreading comfort and tranquility. You exhale, your breath causing the dust particles in the air to spin and twirl. Everything is right with the world. Somehow, you just know it. It's like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And we aren't just speaking metaphorically here. You can't help but notice something amongst the dusty old floorboards in front of you. A faint light, seemingly flowing out from between the floorboards. You feel yourself drawn to it, like a lizard seeking the warmth of the sun. Whatever that strange orange glow between the floorboards is, you need it. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel happy. And things that do that are few and far between down here. Aren't they, Explorer? You approach the floorboards with the orange glow and drop to your knees, pressing your fingers and face against the dusty old wood, not even stopping to consider that you might get splinters. Nothing could put a damper on the peace you're somehow receiving from this orange glow. It reminds you of simpler times, times before fear, before doubt, before the curse of self-awareness. The halcyon days when you still believed that everything might be okay, when all is said and done. That's when you remember exactly where you recognize this place from. So many years ago now, when you were just a little kid, you went to go spend a week with your grandparents while your parents were working through something. You remember your grandpa leading you up into the attic and showing you all of his old mementos from the war, a few rusty old medals in a tin cigar box, his dog tags, and even his service pistol. It blew your young mind to see such a connection to living history right in front of you. And once you were done, he'd lead you back downstairs, where your grandmother would have a tray of freshly baked chocolate chip cookies waiting for you. Just thinking about it makes a warm, contented smile spread over your face. But you're pulled from your blissful trance by a familiar sound, your stomach growling. Suddenly it dawns on you that it's been a long, long time since you've eaten anything. and you'd better rectify that very soon if you don't want your journey in the backrooms to end before you hit level 20. That would just be humiliating, don't you think? You rise shakily to your feet, not exactly eager to leave behind the comforts that the orange glow under the floorboards provides. Sometimes comfort needs to take a back seat to the bare necessities. You continue trudging down the length of the infinite attic, the floorboards once again giving their telltale creak underneath your alien footsteps. There are boxes everywhere. Surely one of these boxes contains something safe for you to eat. There's a nagging pain in your stomach that feels almost unbearable now. How is it possible that you didn't notice this feeling before? Was the orange glow that enrapturing? Hungry, hurting, and impatient, you grab the nearest box and tear it open. It's full of Christmas ornaments, porcelain baubles, and tiny ceramic Santas with fading paint, garlanded by garish vines of tinsel. Nothing of use here. But what if there's something tasty underneath? You grab a bauble, clearly not thinking straight, and stare into the box, only to see more baubles underneath. In a state of mild delirium, you let the bauble in the box fall to the ground. The box itself clatters, but the bauble, strangely, does not. In fact, the second it makes contact with the floorboards, it doesn't shatter, it simply crumbles silently into dust. If you were in a better state of mind, that's the kind of thing you might notice. But right now, all you're focused on doing is getting yourself some grub. You search box after box, only to be disappointed again and again. Christmas decorations, Halloween decorations, dusty old knickknacks that even a thrift store would turn down. You feel like a child blowing their parents' money on endless mobile game loot boxes, only to get a dud every time. Except rather than just having to face up to a very angry mom and dad with a devastated credit card, you feel like your guts are tying themselves into knots. Food, food, food. It has to be somewhere in here. You need it. And eventually, you do indeed get lucky. You find a dusty old chest, the kind a cliched pirate might bury his treasure inside, and you pop open the latches. Within, there's a smorgasbord of delicious treats, somehow perfectly preserved. There are crisp fruits and vegetables, neatly cut sandwiches, and delicious freshly baked cookies, just like the ones your grandma used to make. It seems too good to be true, and it wouldn't be the first time something in the backrooms tried to get you with a classic honey trap. But you're too hungry and delirious to even mind. All that matters to you right now is finally getting to eat. You reach in and grab handfuls of food, ready to stuff your face, when something horrifying happens. The second you remove the food from the confines of the box, it begins to decay rapidly. In a matter of seconds, it becomes a breeding ground for some unidentified furry mold. Seconds later, it's falling apart in your hand and dripping to the floor in unpleasant brown globs, which soon fizzle away into nothingness. It's like watching weeks of rotting take place in less than a minute, just like the bauble that practically dematerialized before your eyes earlier. Turns out, this place is even more inhospitable than you first imagined. But I'm sorry to say, Explorer, your pain is just getting started here. You rise once again, gripping your aching stomach with both hands, as you turn and run back towards the floorboards with that inviting orange glow. Surely, the glow will make it better. The glow has what you need. But by this point, the ambient anomalous effects of level 19 have already started creeping into your frazzled mind. As you try to fumble your way back towards the orange glow down the winding hall of the infinite attic, you feel a sudden and crushing sense of paranoia hit you like a meteorite. It's as though 1,000 strange eyes have opened up on the walls around you, all just watching, judging. You can feel their stares, like something is out to get you, even though you know nothing is there. Though in the back rooms, can you ever really know nothing is there? Still, you know above all else that you need to get back to the sanctity of the orange glow, the only thing that seems like salvation amongst the horrors of level 19 and its many cruel tricks. You know on some level that your fear and anxiety and paranoia will finally dissipate, if only you manage to get back there. But you quickly begin to realize that it isn't just your mind that's under attack here. It's your body, as you feel that agonizing spike of pain in your stomach. You can't move an inch. The pain doubles you over. It's some of the worst agony you've ever felt, even in the deepest abysses of the backrooms. You feel a hot surge climbing up your throat, and vomit before you can even think to hold it back. It reminds you of the first time you had stomach flu for a hellish week back in 6th grade, but times by 10. You look down at the puke on the floor. Does it look oddly red to you? The paranoia strikes again. Are your organs rotting away from the inside somehow? Just like the food in the bauble? Does this terrible place just cause everything to decay? The orange glow. You need it now more than ever. Perhaps it will heal you, fix you from the inside and out. Yes, that must be why it's here. To aid frightened explorers like you in your time of need. You need to push through the pain, no matter how terrible it feels. It'll all be worth it in the end. You continue hobbling across the creaky floorboards. The orange glow is in sight now. You feel shadows lurking all around you, reaching out with long, spindly fingers, watching with invisible eyes. Your eyelids are heavy. You suddenly feel the most tremendous sense of lightheadedness. Your forehead is glazed with a fine film of cold sweat. Are you blacking out? No, you can't. Not now. Who knows what would happen if you fell asleep here? You need to get back to the safety of the glow. It's the only way. But when you reach the floorboards with the orange glow rising up between them, to your horror, you don't feel the calm and serenity you felt earlier. Only that terrible dread and pain, getting worse and worse. Naturally, panic starts to set in. This can't be possible. You needed this. What are you going to do now? You press your face up against the floorboards, but still, you feel nothing. You rise to your feet in a state of pure terror. Then it hits you, the idea that might save your life. What if all you need to do is get closer to that orange glow? And the only way you can do that is by breaking these damn floorboards. So that's exactly what you do. Summoning all of your remaining strength and animal fury, you stomp on the planks below, again and again, feeling shockwaves of pain shooting up your leg each time. But you don't stop. You don't give up. You just keep stomping and stomping and stomping until you hear the wood start to crack and splinter. The floor gives way beneath you and you fall, but not into the orange glow. You just so happen to find a direct route to level 20, and all it took was a little attic vandalism. Who knew? You got lucky this time, explorer. Next time, it won't be so easy. Want to stay tuned for the next exciting exploration into the backrooms as we delve deeper and deeper into this liminal abyss? Be sure to subscribe to the Backrooms Explained and turn on notifications so you never miss another expedition. Now go check out level 20, Warehouse, for more exercises into Backrooms terror.